She's only very short.
Death is nothing at all. I have only slipped away into the next room. Whatever we were to each other, that we are still. Call me by my old familiar name. Speak to me in the easy way that you always used to. Laugh as we always laughed at those funny little old jokes that we always enjoyed together. Pray, smile, think of me, pray for me. Let my name be the household word that it always was. Let it be spoken without effort. Life means all that it was ever meant. It is the same as it always was. There is absolutely unbroken continuity. Why should I be out of your mind because I am out of your sight? I am but waiting for you, for an interval. Somewhere very near, just around the corner. All is well. Nothing is past and nothing is lost. One brief moment and all will be as it was before, only better, infinitely happier and forever. We will all be one together with Christ. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
What a beautiful prayer. Thanks very much, Diane. Now, it's a bit of a Basha show today. I'm going to ask Philippa, Tony's older sister, to say a few words on behalf of the family. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. I'll also offer my thanks to everyone who's come for Tone's celebration of life. And people have come from long distances to be here with us today, and I thank you all sincerely. Tone, as you know, had a macabre sense of humour at times, and he thoroughly enjoyed having an input into his own funeral. He also, as you know, loved telling stories. As small children growing up in Nowra, Tone and I shared a bedroom. Nowra in the late 40s and 50s was a quiet little town, and of course, at that time, you had a regular bedtime with lights out. We would be there in the dark, trying to go to sleep. And so, to help us go to sleep, we'd given the walls a colour. So I'd say, I'm looking at the red wall. And he would say, well, I'm telling my story and I'm looking at the blue wall. And so we'd have to turn about and tell our stories. Soon, so on. He was only very young when he started his storytelling. One time, after a particularly wet period in Nowra, a cow's skull was washed down Rorrey Street. He was fascinated by this skull. A few nights later, and he was only a little boy really still, sitting at the table, and he used to sit at the end of the table, and Dad was at the other end. He told us a story that was prompted by the skull. He had us all transfixed in our seats, scared stiff. He also scared himself. During that period too, Tony and his cousins, Johnny, Carol and Harold, played together. They were all of a similar age. Many a game with cowboys and Indians was enjoyed. Tony, of course, had the sheriff's suit and the badge and the gun, and they would have homemade masks made from handkerchiefs. And I was offered with Bev, our next door neighbour, an Indian, bows and arrows made from what we could find. The Saturday afternoon matinee with Roy Rogers, Tom Mix, Hopalong Cassidy, and also, I was going to do this the proper way. Tom Mix and Hopalong Cassidy, yes, helped us to ignite our imaginations with these games. And so I think of Tony most fondly as a storyteller. He would look at me with those bright eyes of his and tell some outlandish tale, waiting for my look of horror or my laugh. Even last week, when he was in hospital, he said to me, you know, Fee, they love my stories, the other patients and the nurses. I keep them entertained, you know. I make them laugh. And I said, I know, Tony. Yes, I did know. He kept me entertained for years. His love of racing is well known. And also, just last week again, on the day of the Sydney Cup, the day before he died, we were discussing the chances in that race. He would have been interested in the kerfuffle between David Woodhouse and John Singleton and its implication for punters. He was horrified with Damien Oliver's corruption. I was looking forward to discussing the race with him on Sunday, but I never got the chance. I picked out a horse that came second, and I would like to have done it if he had a bet on it. He was a unique individual, a quirky, eccentric personality, had a great sense of the dramatic. You could see it in the clothes he wore, colourful in his black shirts and trousers and gold jewellery. And so thank you, Tony, for memories. We'll never forget you. Then, as Horatio spoke to Hamlet at his death scene, now cracks a noble heart. Good night, sweet prince, and flights of angels sing me to thy rest. Thank you.
Thank you, Philip. I'd like two of Marty's stepchildren, Wes and Marianne, to come forward now and say a few words about Tony. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming today. Well, Tony's been a part of mine, Marianne, and Laura's life since about 1987, when him and Mum met. And Tony welcomed us in with open arms. It was a lot of fun hanging out at Tony's place, which then later became, Mum and Tony's place. And it was very welcoming and very loving, and he treated us as his own. He always gave us fatherly advice, particularly about relationships, women, and things he had to say, I'll never forget. Particularly how to handle various situations. He always had a knack for explaining just the right way to go about something. Tony was very inspiring to me in terms of how he conducted himself in business and how he related to customers and clients. And as you can see and tell, his business is very successful. One funny story I will recall, it happened every Easter. We would always present him with quite a large Easter egg, usually about that big. And we'd always, happily present it to him when he was in bed on Sunday morning, Easter Sunday morning. And without fail, he would always roll over and crush it. But, we're going to miss Tony and his sense of humour. It was there right up until the very last day. He always had a funny spin on any event, whether it was serious or not. And his sense of humour is what I miss the most.
A few little bits and pieces I put together. Tony was a lot of fun. He really showed me what fun was. The Melbourne Cup lunches probably was one of the biggest hits. And then he took me, Alex and Mum a couple of times to trip up to Jupiter's Casino where me and Alex just played the pool all day really. So, there was one night at Hayward Place when he let me, Laura, and a couple of our friends put makeup on him. And then he proceeded to put makeup on us, which was interesting. He gave us a lot of freedom as teenagers, so I never felt guilty going out till all hours, except for the time when I called him at 3 a.m. to pick us up from BP. Tony was kind and he was so generous. For my 18th birthday, he took me to David Jones and helped me pick out my first perfume, so I remember that very fondly. He loved his kids. I remember he always talked about you guys. I remember the tumbles and tickles he gave Alex when Alex was just a little one. And then Tony's cheeky side. 2 weeks ago, we were sitting with him in hospital. We just came up for the weekend, and he whispered to us, "I'm trying to figure out how the hell I'm going to get out of this place," with a hint of a wry smile on his face. So, Tony, I didn't want you to go. I miss our chats and listening to your stories. I miss just being with you. I love you, Tony. Hugs and kisses. Goodbye.
Alex, just talking about stories, I remember him being very, very proud of you on your first birthday, as you put your face into a big ice cream cake. You wouldn't remember that, but I do. Very proud. Okay, would Sarah and Alex like to come and say a few words? Thank you.
Tony and I enjoyed many happy times together, which resulted in the birth of our son, Alexander Philip. He also experienced tough times, both physically, mentally and financially. However, Tony always had a very positive outlook on his life. When his carpet business suffered two recessions in 1989 and 1992, of which he would have affectionately quote Paul Keating's announcement, "This is the recession we had to have." Tony was able to pull back his business. I remember his comment to me one day, sitting in his ever-familiar smoke-filled office. "Bells, I clawed my way back from the brink." A few weeks ago we had a little, because Tony always used to use the word little chat, little drink, over a cuppa at his studio unit, and we prayed together. In closing, I'd like to share a reading from the Bible. Jeremiah chapter 29, verse 11. Tony said he especially liked this verse. "For I know the thoughts that I think toward you, says the Lord, thoughts of peace and not of wrongdoing, and to give you hope." Thank you.
G'day. I never got to know Dad in his early life. I knew him in his later life, but from my experiences and what I was told, he had a very, very prosperous life. He had money, he had a business, he had women, he had family and friends that loved him. And despite the pain he endured in his later years, his outlook on life always remained tenacious. And for that, that's probably the greatest lesson he's ever taught me.
Okay. Told everyone to hold it together. I'm starting to lose it with yourself. Thank you very much, Sarah and Alex. Marty, it's been you've got to step up now, and I've told him that, haven't I, mate? He's the head of the family now. Come forward and say a few words on behalf of the family and the team. Thank you.
I thought I'd start today just with a few of my favourite quotes of Dad's. He was famous for them, I'm sure you all recognise a few of these. He was the master of fast back chat and witty repartee. He loved the sweet smell of papaya in the breeze. He was a master weaver of the rich tapestry of life. You catch more flies with honey than you will with vinegar. Never give a sucker an even break. Sell the stock, sell the stock. And if you're a carpet later, it was, have you got the check? One of my personal favourites too from his bar bobbing days. When asked what his biggest problem was, he'd say, slow racehorses and fast women. He was such a wonderful man. As you can imagine, over the last few days I've spoken with lots of different people from all different stages of Dad's life, and a lot of the same words seem to keep resonating throughout the conversations. Warmth, compassion, funny, smart, all-round good bloke, and the list goes on. But something that really stood out is how many people independently said that he never judged you, and he didn't. He was a beloved friend to so many from once again, all the different stages of his life. And it seems that most people who were ever lucky enough to meet him were nearly instantly captivated by that unique, infectious, cheeky but honest sense of humour. He was also a mentor to many. His personality, combined with all his years of sales experience, gave him extraordinary understanding of people and our psychology. And he openly shared this knowledge with many of us, undoubtedly making our lives all the richer for it. To the carpet industry, he was an icon. His success in building a business from nothing to a 30-year establishment that not only survived the good times, but the bad times as well. That fact, was not only recognised, but hugely respected within the industry. And as someone put it, that man has put a lot of food on a lot of tables. To lots of us, he was our rock, the first person you would go to if you needed help or were ever in trouble. The guy that would never let you down. The guy that would always be there. To his family, he was our patriarch, the provider of so many good times, a beacon of light in the darker times. He was flamboyant and funny right to the end. I'd like to thank from the bottom of my heart all the people who helped care for Dad over the last few years. There's too many to mention, but you all know who you are. And I think you'd all agree, especially John and Sarah, that toward the end his will, mental strength and determination was quite simply astonishing. It was his final coup. The hard bit. Dad, as a son, words can't describe how blessed I've been to have you as my friend, my father, my rock, my mentor. I will always love you and you will never be forgotten. I'll see you at the great racetrack in the sky, mate.
I'll just clear my throat. Thank you, Marty. Just marvellous. And we're just about finished. I'd like to pass on my personal thanks to Sarah and John for your wonderful support. And I'd just like to thank the Basha family for something that they did for me and my family in 1969. They lived in the most beautiful apartment in Neutral Bay, in Neutral Bay in North Sydney. And I've been out of Sydney for many years, teaching in places like Bracken Hill and London. And got married and had our oldest son, Mike. We came back. And Tony, and Diane and Joy moved out of that beautiful apartment. And we lived there as a little family for over 6 months. And that enabled us to buy our first property. I finally got a job. No one had employed me, but I finally got a job. And that was, I think, the kindest thing Basha family that anyone's ever done to me. So thank you. Thank you very much. All right. After we have some of Tony's interesting Johnny Cash music, I'd like to ask you to join the family in the kiosk there for a cup of tea. And I think there's a little drink later on at the North Burleigh Bowling Club. Surf Club. Oh, you can see on the bottom. On behalf of the bowling. Yeah. Okay, and just a final thing, just thank you to all those people who've travelled so far for coming up today. That's wonderful. Thank you. You're not going to believe this. Would anyone else like to say a personal goodbye? Thank you very much. Yeah, still a reminder, I thought